And again, no, thank you for tawag dito, for noticing that. And good afternoon again, class, no? And our module 3, we will be dealing with operators. Okay? And our objective for this afternoon is to differentiate operators from each other and use them correctly. And so, as what I have said, no, when we are working with Java operators, this is the same operators that you have been using in your C++ programming days. Okay, such as for example, in your computer programming 1 and computer programming 2. So, I don't need to precisely discuss them in an in-depth manner. Okay? Because the utilization of these operators or the use of it on this programming language is basically the same with as of how you use them in the C++ programming language. Okay? And so much like the C++ programming language, you have this, syempre, unary arithmetic operators, the binary, the bitwise, and the shift operators. Okay? And so with the unary and arithmetic operators, you have the sign operators to mark something that is positive or negative. Yun nga lang, syempre, hindi na tayo naglalagay ng plus. Ano? With regards to if we want something that is specified as positive, 'di ba? So, although pwede, technically kahit sa C++ pwede din naman. But we do not write them anymore because we always assume that, it's a positive value once well, to specify, no, that a literal is technically a positive one, no? And syempre, ang ini-specify na lang natin on a specific literal, na pag sinabi nating literal, baka nakalimutan nyo na, like for example, x is equal to 10, okay? The value of 10 here is what you call the literal, okay? It's a hard code presentation or representation of a data type. And di ba, hindi na tayo naglalagay ng plus because we know that's positive. Okay? But pwede. Okay? So, anyway, uh, the moment we put a minus sign, it's a negative literal. And so, meron ding plus plus and minus minus. And postfix and prefix behavior are also applied to it, no? Oh, so wala na tayong pag-uusapan doon, no? Because you know already what a plus plus and minus minus is doing in your program. And also with the precedence level, it's the same. You have the binary arithmetic operators, which is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and the modulo division. Okay, and the behavior is still the same, no? Eh, syempre, much like with other programming languages, if you wanted to override the precedence, edi you will be using already a parenthesis, 'di ba? So, no question about that, no? Which is through the use of parenthesis. Now, the difference between let's say for example, uh dealing something with Java is that, you know, it throws an exception when you divide something by zero. Unlike in C++ programming language, okay, uh, your program will terminate abruptly. Okay? Pero dito, you can still recover from that particular error. So, tingnan natin. I'll try to open the Visual Studio Code, no, that we have set up before. Ayan. And this is our last example. And what I'm just going to do is to override, no, yung ano natin, yung example natin dito. Okay, but before I'll have this overridden, maybe I could have this copied and paste first, no? dito somewhere maybe on our announcements, ano, and I mean when we were able to discuss some things about it, dito ko na lang ilagay sa announcement natin dito. Okay? Then I'll just paste it here. No, ito yung napag-usapan natin last time. So dito ko na lang siya ilalagay. Parang notes natin for that particular day. Ayan. But I have to create an HTML editor. Tapos something like I have to uh, have a pre-formatted yan para I could paste it here. Ayan, and save, tapos send. Okay. Ayan, so nandito class yung notes natin. Okay, from before para just in case lang na gusto natin siya balikan. Okay, so moving forward class with our example, yun nga, as what we have said, siguro much like if b is equal to 0 here, no? B is equal to 0. And something like we wanted, no? Let me just delete this part. Ayan. Okay, and something like we would like to divide, no? Well, maybe we could change this into float. Okay, kasi parehas lang naman. So, ayan, control alt yata, no? Ano ba? Shift alt, no? Shift alt. Ayan, para column. So let me change this to float. Tapos let's say for example, if we are going to divide A over B, ano? Result. Let's change this to result and run the program using system.out. Ayan. So ipi-print kasi natin sa screen eh, 'di ba? So I'm going to run the program. So this will result to an output, no, of 0.5, 'di ba? So we have an output of 0.5. Pero in such case na you do have 0, pag C programming to, uh, your program will terminate abruptly. So like for example, meron pa tayo dito sa ilalim, done with the program. Okay? So let me run it again, run in Java. Ayan. And you would see here na meron kang infinity. Ano? When you infinity and then done with program. Ano? For lower versions of Java, this will throw an exception. Okay? And then you have to handle it. Pero the behavior of Java 22 simply specifies, no, that you'll have an infinity result. No, hindi nagta-terminate yung program natin. Okay, it finishes the program gracefully. Unlike in C++ and C, which is a compiled language, bigla na lang magta-terminate yung program natin if something is divided by 0. So, the reason for that, syempre, it's actually being handled by the runtime. Ang C++ wala namang runtime. No? So, dividing integer by 0 results in the throwing of arithmetic exception. Okay? It's just that dito, it did not throw any exception at all. Maybe because kaya hindi natin nakita. Okay? Because our main function here, we specified throws exception. Actually, this was generated by the IDE. No? Pag gumagawa naman tayo ng sarili nating program, wala naman yan. So, we did let the runtime handle the error for us. So, tingnan natin if I'm going to run again our program to see what is the output, no? So, makikita natin, I think it's still the same, no? So, it's still the same class, no? It's handled by the runtime. So, that's, I guess, the version, no, that we have in Java, which is Java 22. But in lower versions, it will throw an exception. Okay? Kaya that's why makikita nyo dito, dividing integer by 0 results in the throwing of arithmetic exception. Okay? So for bitwise operator, they are still existing. No, it performs much like the bitwise OR and the logic table. No, ganun pa rin naman siya. And of course, the shift operators are existing as well. If you wanted to shift the bits left to right, much like what you have learned in your computer organization, kung gusto nyo mag-shift ng bits, okay? And that's basically for the arithmetic operators. And there's nothing really new there. Only the behavior makikita nyo when dividing something. Okay? Yun lang, class. The thing with math operators in Java is that when you are working with strings, like for example, string, uh, str, and originally it's feu, ano? And you can actually perform, okay, the plus operator on the string, okay, for you to concatenate two strings together. Okay? So, dito, you have, for example, FEU, lalagyan ko ng space, tapos tech. So that the new value of str is equal to FEU tech, not FEU. So, if I'm going to print that out again, makikita natin na the string is basically FEU tech already. So, we have here done with the program and the output is FEU tech. Okay? So, yan yung nangyayari naman when we are technically dealing with strings. Okay? And with that also, syempre, kung makikita nyo, string is equal to string plus tech. Then, if that's the case, sir, pwede rin ba, if that is the case, str plus equal to space tech? Kasi parang ganun din eh. Di ba yun yung shortcut, arithmetic shortcut ng mga operators, kung naalala nyo? Plus equal, plus equal. Ganun din dito. Kung ano yung behavior niya na natutunan ninyo when you are working with operators in C++. The plus equal, okay, behaves, this is like an accumulator behavior. So it behaves much like that. So let me just run the program and you would see the same output, which is FEU tech. So yung plus dito, you are also using it in overriding strings. Okay, so that's why when you are working with tawag dito with system.out.println, mapapansin ninyo na what I am doing here, okay, sa system.out.println, is that I'm using plus, okay, to concatenate, strings together. Pero in this case, you're using plus, no? So we have here the result, no? Yan ang lagay natin, result. And let's now try to run the program. Ayan. So makikita nyo dito, the output of res is infinity. And then we just concatenated result to it. Okay? And this is a simple hack. If you wanted to, let's say, for example, let's say I have an integer x which is equal to 5, and you wanted to convert x into a string. So what you do, like string is, you just use x and append it with an empty string. So you have converted actually yung x natin into a string, pero it's a value of number 5. Pero hindi siya number. Did you get the idea, class? When I'm talking about this concatenation dito, na parang simple hack to convert an integer, no? in a form of a string. So we have here stream system.out print lns. Ayan. So yeah, no? So 5. Pero hindi siya ano hindi siya number. S here is technically a string already. Okay. So ayun, those are some of the things na na we do have here for Java operators. E di syempre ganun din. You have relational and logical operators, you have the cast operator, assignment operator, and the ternary operator is still here. So nothing really much different at all when you are working with your C++ programming days. Okay? And for relational operator, as what you can see, it's still the same. Greater than or equal, less than or equal, equality, no? Baka nakakalimutan nyo, double equal. And then you have the not equal, ano? And for logical operators, ganun din, no? Much like how you use it in C++. You have the AND operator, no? The short circuit OR, the AND and the OR. Ginagamit din natin 'yan. Pero hindi na natin siya ginagamit for pointers. Okay? And you have also cast operators. Okay? Used in converting one type to another type. Okay? Using the C++ way of casting. No? Like for example, this is a double value and you will be converting it into a double. Pero may isa pang way. Using yung pinag-usapan natin last time. No? Using the wrapper classes, if you can still remember. Pero ang sinasabi din dito na they are still existing. No, much like how you are typecasting something in C++. Okay? So, remember our past lecture which is the wrapper class. Balikan natin yon, no? So, the shorthand is still working. Yung a plus equal to 10 is the same as a is equal to a plus 10. Kaya nga ginawa natin sa string din kanina. Okay? I presented to you class yung shortcut din nung ginawa natin when we are talking about strings. And the ternary operator is also applied here, no? Which is an operator that deals with 3 operands. Okay? So based on the condition here, if the condition is true, the value of the variable is this one. Okay? Kung true, yan ang magiging value niya. Otherwise, if it's false, ito ang magiging value niya. Kaya ang tawag natin sa kanya is a ternary operator. Okay, so such as in this example, sabi niya, the bigger number is equal to is x greater than y. So alam natin, false to, no? Because x is 20 and y is 30. And so, ang magiging value ng bigger number is y. Ayan, no? Kasi, yun yung false part ng ternary operator natin. And, yeah, I encourage you also to have this kind of operators kesa if-else to shortcut things. Anyway, pag between programmer to programmer naman ang nagbasa niyan, di ba? Maintindihan din naman. Okay? And yun class, nothing really much special about module 3. Yeah, that's why it's module 3 here is very tawag dito easy because there's nothing really new to talk about, no? With regards to operators and yon yung mga math operators and logical things na logical operators that was presented to us. Okay? And so, with that, no, with the different operators that we have, we can now go to module 4. No, hindi naman tayo mabilis, class, because sayang lang ang oras natin. Pag-usapan pa natin paano gumamit ng plus, minus, divided by, tsaka mga shortcut. Ano? Because We know that already. And let's now take a closer look on control structures and arrays. Ito wala namang pinagkaiba din. Meron lang konti, very minimal. Okay, like for example, kanina sa division by zero, instead na mag-terminate ano, abruptly, it allowed us to finish the execution of our program. Ano? So, let me download control structures. Aba, summative assessment 1 na pala tayo, no? So, next week, summative assessment tayo, but not this week. So, next week, Wednesday, ha? Mark that date. And we have here yung PowerPoint presentation natin for control structures. So, let me download that. Ano? First, we try to open yung control structures natin. Ayan. Okay. So we have here for module 4 class is about control structures and arrays. Okay? So what about control structures? Syempre, ito yung the usual alam nyo na, no? Na if, else, if, and switch. Okay? Yan yung alam na natin when we are talking about the control structures. Okay? So dito meron tayong while loop, do while loop, and the for loop. Na wala namang bago, but yeah, let's go through it, ano? So when we are talking about if else statement, it's still the same. It's still the same syntax as if you have do as if you are doing C++. So you would be needing braces pag what, no? Is braces here optional? Anyone? Is braces here optional? Can I call someone randomly? Mukhang can anyone save that person which I will call randomly?
Sir,
Eh,
I'll try to save.
yes, so ano ba? Mr. Jules, ano sa tingin mo? Is that optional?
Well, in my opinion, okay, it goes like this. If it's multiple statements, sir, I would use a curly bracket. But
Yes.
if it's just one statement, the bracket becomes optional.
Oh, yes, very good, ano? So, it's much like in C++, ano? Now, when you're dealing with a single statement with the if, okay, you don't need any more curly braces. Okay? Ganun pa din, no? Tama naman. And if it's multiple statements that you have to execute, you need the braces already. However, it's a good programming practice, no, to always use braces with even if, for example, you will only perform single statement. Now, the reason for that is you'll never know when you will be adding more statements to it. Ano? And which would cause a bug or possibly a syntax error when you recompile again your program. So, yeah, although your answer is correct, no, I would highly suggest also for all of you, no, na to always place the braces when you do encounter an if else statement. Okay? Now the switch statement also behaves much like the switch statement in C and C++. The rule here is that the thing that you have to evaluate on the switch statement is of integral value only, meaning they are whole numbers that you are going to evaluate. However, syempre, as we advance on the programming language, uh, programmers are, beginning to ask if, for example, can we use strings here as a comparison? Well, I believe that you could do so. Okay, but not in C and C++, di ba? So let's say for example, we wanted here a string which is letter Z. No, and we have, for example, well, the same thing if you will be specifying a string literal. So sabihin nating 1, okay? And so, with this, we wanted to provide a switch statement, no? Evaluating the string letter Z in our program. And so we have this set of braces to, you know, to have the scope of the switch statement. Tapos maglalagay na tayo dito, no? You have case 2. Ayan, pag case 2, then maybe we could just print out, no? Uh 2, something like that, no? Ayan. And then ganun din, you have to put some break. And then let's say just for the purpose of have this evaluated, no? Ayan, and then we have S out, ayan. And let's say for example, then we could be printing out 1. Then ganun din, we could issue a break. Ayan. And then syempre, much like C++, you have the default one. If for example, um, we have we don't have any na for the cases that we can select. And let's see if this will work. Ano? If for example, you would be using a string instead of numbers of an integral type of number for the cases. And let me run the program. Ayan. So as what you can see, we have here an output of 1. So gumagana, 'di ba? Gumagana na yung strings natin when you are talking about Java. 'Di ba? So ang dali lang yung transition natin from C++ to Java. Okay? And nadadagdagan din ng features. But let me remind you, ano? I think this is they are being compared lexicographically. So meaning, kung ito, lowercase yung 1 natin, yung string nating na 1, and all of this is uppercase, ano, and let me run this, no? The output is unknown. Okay? So the cases also is being followed. Okay? So with that, one thing that I would like to remind you also, the reason why I told you na it is being compared lexicographically, ano? Uh, when comparing strings using a case, kahit sa if-else, they are costly. Okay? Bakit costly in terms of CPU cycles? Because it's comparing character by character. 'Di ba? So, yeah, if you can avoid comparing strings, no, using a switch, please do avoid so, no? Pero syempre, uh, you're just dealing with the simple lab exercises, and you're not dealing naman with the applications that deals with the real-time result, even though you have hundred thousands of users that are using your program. Wala namang problema. Do'n tayo pagkakaproblema, I'm sorry, kapag gano'n na ang number of users natin, because the CPU cycle is very costly. Pero but for minimal task like this one, for laboratory purposes, just to show the features of that switch statement, okay lang, no? But at least you know that the switch statement of strings is working already, no, in your program. Now, syempre, the break statement causes the program flow to exit from the body of the switch construct. We all know that, no? It's used. Otherwise, magkakaroon ka pa rin ng switch fall through. Okay? Now, syempre, when you are working with switch, di ba? If for example, you wanted to cascade the different elements, it's also applied here. Like for example, kung gusto mo, uh, kung uh, kung 1 or 2 yung string natin, one strategy is for you to make a uh, fall through strategy. Para if for example the value of your string is 1 or 2, you will print 1, 2. Okay? So tingnan natin, let's say for example this is 2, no? Ang ipi-print out din niya is actually yung 1, 2, no? Magkasama na sila. You can also do that, no? As an alternative for the OR statement inside the switch. Ayan. Pero syempre, yung break, mahalaga din. Kaya ko lang naman na-mention, paano kung walang break? Ginagamit ba natin sa program natin, sir, ang switch kahit walang break? Yes. If you wanted to implement a fall through na tinatawag, ano? And so, meron din tayong default keyword, no? If for example, nakita natin, no, na wala naman talaga sa choices. Now, the while loop executes a given statement. I don't need to explain this thing, no? It's basically the same as the while loop that you are using in C++, and also the do while class, it's also the same, no? And the for loop also, no? uh, it's just that we have a new type of for loop. Yun lang siguro ang ang masasabi ko. And with this one, yung for statement natin dito. Okay, yung for statement natin sa sa PowerPoint presentation natin. Okay? We know that for loop here, okay, has three parts: the initialization, the condition, and the altering list. Okay? That's the legacy. Siyempre, yun, hindi naman legacy. But that's the de facto standard. Okay? Now, my question here, no, is that, are the parts of the for loop mandatory? Yun ang tanong ko. Anyone? Are the parts of the for loop mandatory? In your experience?
Yes po.
Yes, no? The parts of the for loop is mandatory, but actually it's not. It's not mandatory. Oo. Kasi kung titingnan natin, tingnan nyo ha. Oo. Okay. So, let me delete this one para diretso na tayo doon sa output natin. Okay. In a for loop, syempre, as what you can see, I can do it like this. Okay, and this will print an enormous amount of word, which is FEU. It's optional, no? So makikita natin if we are going to run the program, it will not stop. Okay, the program will not stop. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is to break the operation. Okay, so yeah, it's not mandatory, ha? Oo. But it looks like it's mandatory because you'll get a bug, no? You'll get a bug from it kapag hindi mo nilagyan. Okay? And so, what you can do here is you could simulate, no? But kaya nga na tayo gumawa ng for loop para one-stop shop na lang siya. So I have here integer I is equal to 0, no? And if you want, you have I is less than 10. Okay? And then you could place it just here, I++. Ayan, no? And this will break the loop. Oh, 10 times na lang siya. 'Di ba? But still, other parts are optional. Pero bakit mo naman gagawin ganito? No? It's not nice, it's not readable, 'di ba? So might as well use it in such a way that it's mandatory, 'di ba? So yun lang about the for loop that we are seeing. Pero syempre sa while loop mandatory and do while, 'di ba? They are mandatory. And there's one more thing that is new in Java. Actually, meron din naman na sa C++, pero in higher version of C++. Sa computer programming 1 and computer programming 2 ninyo, syempre, yung ano, yung nandun, no? Medyo yung initial versions pa ng C++. So normally, you use this, for example, uh, you have X here, no? Ah, teka, nakalimutan ko yata tawag dito. Mag declare ng array sa Java. So something like that, no? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ano? And yan, you have that. So instead of writing for integer I is equal to 0, no? I is less than 5, no? And then I plus plus, you would like to print out, okay, all elements of array X. Okay, so you would specify xi. Usually, ganito ang gagawin natin, no? Ayan, so you'll have it. Wala akong braces, it's still applied because it's only a single statement. Ano? So ganun din parang sa if else. So I'm going to run the program. And as what you can see, you have an output of 1, 2, 3, 4, tsaka 5. Normally ganyan ang ginagawa natin. Okay, however, since you wanted to traverse each of the elements of the array, and parating nangyayari yan when it comes to, programming. Ang ginawa dito is that gumawa na sila ng bagong for loop. Okay? Which is for each, ang tawag nila. So the thing here is that you will now create a value, a variable, depending on the data type of your array. So sabihin natin sample, okay? Tapos you will use a semicolon, and then anong array yung itra-traverse niya, which is X. Okay? Ngayon, makikita natin class dito na yung sample, ay I'm sorry, no? Naghahalo tuloy. So, makikita natin dito na yung sample, siya ngayon yung value, no? Every time that we are iterating on each of the element of the array, nalalagay sa loob ng sample. Okay, so if I'm going to run the program, you would have the same output also. Okay? So mas maigsi, 'di ba? Yung yung syntax. Pero this only works on a collection of data. Pag sinabi nating collection, no, multiple values such as an array. Okay? So yan yung no? Yan yung pinagkaiba natin, no? When you are working with loops with regards to the array. So kamusta naman? Can you still follow on what I am discussing? Nakakasunod pa ba? And kamusta naman yung iba? Ano? Okay, so are you still with me yung iba, Sige. So, what we have here, of course, is a for loop pa rin. But, it's a different kind of for loop na pinalakas. Something like that. Okay, so, moving forward, that's the for each statement. And notice, hindi lang siya ginagamit sa array, pati sa collection. I think it's one of your modules here for you to have a collection class. So here is a typical example. Okay, so yung quizzes na array, bawat isa sa kanila, kada loop, nalalagay sa loob ng loop na grade. But of course, ano, uh, the break statement is also applied in this particular area, no, ng natin ng tawag dito, ng loop, okay? And also the continue, okay? It's just that meron ditong label. You know, we do not use a label actually because it's a very unstructured way of programming. Kaya hindi ko siya ginagamit. Okay? Actually, I forgot on how to use this, but I think this goes this way. Okay? So, in our example here, uh, let's say we have an endless loop of for loop. Let me try, Okay, we have an endless loop of for loop. Okay. So, somewhere along the way, okay, we know that pwedeng palitan natin, wag naman ganyang sample, yung while na lang. And of course, we needed a condition which is true. Well, this is an endless loop because it's always true. Diba? Tapos, ang nangyari, we have here an integer which is equal, x, which is equal to 0. Okay, so we tried to initialize x, something like that. Okay, or something like, wala pala dito, no? We wanted to print out like for example FEU. Pagkatapos when I printed out FEU, okay? It happens na this is an endless loop, right? So alam natin na hindi magte-terminate yung program natin, no? But then again, we tried to put a counter here. I is equal to 0. Okay? And, no, marireset parate, no? We tried to put a counter here, which is I is equal to 0. And, we have an increment here. Okay? Ngayon, pag 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, no? Okay. So, naglagay tayo dito something like, pagdating ng 5, no? If I is equal to 5, ano? Magbe-break na tayo. Okay? Well, alam naman natin na this will print out what do you call this FEU 5 times. Even though we have, we have I is equal to 0. I mean, we have while is true. Ayan, tingnan natin. So, tama, ay apat lang, no? I'm sorry, nag-break ako. Okay? So, dagdagan na lang natin, no? I is equal to 6. Ayan. And so, it would print that, no? 5 times. 1, 2, 3. Ay, hindi, tama na pala ako. 5, 5. Hindi, naka-scroll lang pala. I'm sorry about that. So, ayan, no? It will be printed 5 times. Ngayon, what we do here, okay, once we are done with the while loop, I wanted to perform, something like a label, no? Something like go here. Yan, no? So, to specify a label, okay, you need an identifier for that. Okay, and you have to specify a colon. Kasi ganun ang maglagay ng label eh. And once I is equal to 5, you would say, go here. Ayan. So, anong mangyayari? If you have that kind of logic. No, pag I is equal to 5, go here, papasok ulit sa loop. And then I is equal to 5, go here, and then papasok ulit sa loop. No, something like that. And if I'm going to run the program, no, so, hindi na, no? So, notice that, hindi na eh. So, notice that, hindi, para naman na makita naman natin na, na na bumalik ulit doon, no? Kasi wala naman tayong print out dito. So let's try to print out here. Okay? Let's now try to print out there. Here and there. Para makita natin yung behavior. Okay? Here and there. Ayan. So ayan ha. We uh we have two string output here. So let's now try to run the program. Okay. So makikita natin dito, uy, hold on. Bakit ganun? System.out.println. This one is for the true and this is one for the braces. O ayan, no? We have an unreachable code. Okay? So we did try to jump, no? Pag wala tayong nilagay na code, that's okay. So let me yan. Let me comment that out here. So hindi na daw siya ma-execute. So if I'm going to run the program, let's see what will happen. Build failed. Continue. Okay. The label go here is missing. Bakit ganon? The label go here. Did I do something wrong? No, pero pag kinoment out ko, okay, okay na siya. So yun class, katulad ng sabi ko sa inyo, hindi ko siya ginagamit eh. So alam niyo yon. So I'm not quite sure of the behavior here, no? Pero pag sinabi mong label, you will go directly to where the label is. So I'm going to run Java here. So we have FEU, 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 FEU. Ano? So nag-terminate siya. Ano? Based on where we have placed the label, no? Ignoring the loop where it is contained. Okay, kasi otherwise ang mangyayari, tingnan natin, no? If I will be placing here I is equal to 0, mag-e-error na. Okay? So, it's for me, the label here is like an escape. Ano? So, once you have put a label before the loop because you wanted it to terminate here, no? The statement that you will be placing from the loop, okay, is does not make sense anymore. Okay? Pero what if, no? Nakita natin na pag nilagay natin yung label, no? We wanted to move up doon sa ano natin, sa loop natin. We cannot place anymore the statements. Pero is it possible if if you wanted to have the label here, no? Dito sa ano natin, sa program natin. Tingnan natin, no? And we will be saying here that this is okay, S out, no? We would like to say that we are ending the program already. Ayan. System.out, end of program already. Okay? So nag-error din siya eh. End of program, no? Ayan. So sabi niya, the label go here is missing. Ano, same like before. Okay, and it's unreachable code, no? And yeah, it's never been used. So hindi, no? Hindi siya tawag dito. Gumagana din, no? When you try to, you know, work with statements when using a label. So it's merely no, yeah, if we are to run this at the bottom of the loop naman, no? Ayan. So same here, we would be having an error naman, no? So when we have a loop based on the behavior that was demonstrated here, okay? So nilalagay natin siya before a loop, okay? Where a break with a label is actually applied. Okay? Kasi kitang-kita nyo naman on our example, okay, na when we did place it below the loop where we have established go here, okay, nag-e-error siya. Ngayon, the label here is something like a, what do you call this? A bookmark. Ano? Na you wanted to get out, no? Uh, from some parts of your code. So, ganun ang ano, ganun ang dating ng go here, no? With this kind of behavior. Okay, so tingnan natin, ano? Something like dito, no, sa end of program class, tiningnan na natin, no, yung go here na label. Hindi ko kasi siya ginagamit totally. Ano? So, if for example, we wanted to have another go here, can we have multiple? I don't think so. Ano? So, we cannot really tawag dito, make go here work, no? Where we have declared kung nasan man yung break go here na ginamit natin. So, empty statement is expected after this token in Java. Ayan. Okay. So, that's the behavior of a label when we have that. Okay. Kaya sa tingin ko, uh, it's not really useful on this kind of situation because you can simply get out from the loop. Alam niyo yun? You can simply get out from the loop. Okay? By ignoring, by using the break statement. And so, the question here is that saan ba magandang gamitin yung break with a label? Naalala ko nga one time when some of you are performing programming stuff in computer programming 1, gumagamit kayo ng GoTo eh. May mga gumagamit sa inyo ng GoTo. Naalala nyo yun? Naalala nyo ba na gumagamit kayo ng GoTo when you first encountered no programming? O, di ba? Ang tendency ng GoTo na ano, ng behavior ng GoTo na ginagawa nyo is kung nasan yung label, di ba, doon pupunta yung ano, yung logic nyo. Kaya nga nakakapag-loop kayo eh. Pero dito, no, notice, okay, this is used, it's something like that, no? But the behavior is much like different. Kasi kung ganun yung behavior, katulad ng paggamit nyo sa kanya dati, okay, na pupunta, nag-break kayo dito and pupunta kayo dito. Kasi wala namang go-to statement eh sa Java. Okay? Tingnan nyo. Go to, go here. Go to. Meron. Meron ba? It's a reserved word, no? So, hindi siya kasama. Okay, it's a reserved word pero hindi siya ginagamit. Naalala ko na, yung go to, it's a reserved word pero hindi siya ginagamit, no, dito sa syntax. Ang alam natin pupunta dito. But, hindi na niya dinaanan ulit yung while true kung nasan yung go here. So, my assumption here is that the best way to use a label, okay, based on our observation is when we have a deeply nested loop. Di ba pag nag-break ka sa inner loop, saan ka mapupunta? Sa outer loop. Tama ba? Di ba? Hindi yung exit agad, di ba? That's what we know. Okay, when we are working with loops. So let's try one of that behavior. Okay? Subukan natin. So, may mga siguro yun yung pinaka magandang gamit, no? Let's say we have for integer I is equal to 0. Okay? I is less than, let's say for example 100 or 1000. Okay, and then I plus plus. Okay? So meron tayo niyan. Okay? And then for example, meron tayo sa loob for integer j is equal to 0. J is less than 1,000. Okay? Then you have J++. Okay? So meron tayo niyan, no? Tapos meron tayo dito na for integer z is equal to 0, z is less than 100, okay, z++. Okay, so this is the logic that we have here in our for loop. Okay? The thing here is that, di ba, sa simula nito, when we enter this for loop, which is basically 0, ito, papasok siya sa loob ng j, which is 0, tapos z is 0, tapos tsaka niya sasabihin z is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, di ba? Ganun yung behavior niya. Tingnan natin ha. Okay. So meron tayo dito. Ano? So meron tayong output na let's say for example, I. Okay? And then the value of I is I. Tapos we do have the value of J. And the value of J is J. Okay? And the value of Z, tingnan natin, the value of Z, okay, is Z. Ayan. So makikita nyo, ang first output natin, dapat 0, 0, 0, then 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 2, di ba? 0, 0, 3. Kasi tatapusin niya muna to eh. Okay, hanggang maging 100. Ganun siya. Okay, so let's say for example, we wanted to run here a duplicate variable I. Bakit? I'm sorry. Ayan. Tanggalin natin yan. Okay, so let me run the program. Ayan. So ganyan siya, no? Control C. Ayan, no? So much like what we did earlier, yung letter Z pala natin, walang space. Ayan. So ganun yung nangyari sa kanya class, ano? At first, when we tried to run this program, okay, I is equal to 0, nawala na kasi sa dami, no? J is equal to 0, and Z is equal to 0. Tapos tatapusin niya muna to, yung 100, bago siya magiging J is equal to 1. Okay? So, ganun siya class, no? Something like that. Now, let's say for example, pag naglagay ako dito class ng if Z, okay, is equal to 5, okay, dito, no, sa loob natin, pag nag-break ako dito, saan siyang loop mapupunta? Pag nag-break ako dito sa for loop natin. Anyone? Saan break kaya?
Second loop, sir.
Sa second loop. Okay, tama. Okay, which is ito yung sinasabi mo. J is equal to 0 and J is less than 1,000. Diyan siya mapupunta. But the thing here is that I do not want to break no on the second loop. Ano? What I want is I wanted to break freely from this inner loop that we have here. I want to break free, no? So that's why instead of putting a lot of logic, like for example dito, if z is equal to 5 break, ano? And let's say for example, kasi ang nangyari dito, we cannot access z anymore, no? Something like we just declared z here, okay, so that we could access z outside. Ayan. And ina-access siya sa loob ng for loop. Now, pag z na siya, we could simply put here z is equal to 5. Magkakaroon na tayo ng break. Okay? Ayan. And so, mangyayari dito class, pag pag 5 na siya dito, okay, break siya. Okay? And then pag we wanted to detect also, pag 5 na siya dito, break na siya. Para makaabot lang ako dito sa for loop na to. Did you get the idea, class? Yung logic na kailangan natin para makaabot tayo sa outer loop. Okay? Just to break from this inner loops that we have. And so, yun klase, yun yung nakikita kong gamit. Ano? When you wanted to break free from an innermost loop going outside, okay, para you will be saved from this tedious logic from getting out. Ano? And so, going back with this one, okay, since that's what I wanted to convey with you, class, ano, when we are using labels, okay. So, the best way to do that, okay, subukan natin, is to jump here. Ayan. Okay? So, something like that. Kaso, ang problem dito, no? We have to say, jump here. Ayan. So, nakatakas na ako. Alam niyo yon. And automatically, pag tawag dito, kapag, let's say for example, meron tayo dito, S out, no? Outer loop. Okay? See? Hindi siya nag-error eh. No? Unlike yung kanina na when we are working with 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 uh, a loop na wala nang loop outside, no? Nag-e-error siya, di ba? Pero dito hindi na, ano? So notice dito when we try, if z is equal to 5 here, okay? You would be able to see the outer loop right away. And let's try to prove it by displaying I and the outer loop. So let me run the program. Tingnan natin. O ayun, no? We have here, o nakikita nyo yung outer loop na output. Okay? Nakikita nyo ba, class, in my output? Ito, outer loop. Ayan, no? So nakaka-exit tayo agad, di ba? Nakaka-exit tayo agad without those tedious logic. And doon ko nakikita na magandang gamitin, class, yung ano natin, yung label. Not in the simple logic na we have implemented earlier. Because mapapansin nyo doon, okay, na kung sa main lang natin siya ginamit and there's no really nested loops that are actually, implemented there, wala eh, error siya, no? Error, no? So, nakikita kong gamit niya in situation like this, no? When you wanted something from a loop and it's difficult for you to get to the outer loop, okay? Then that's a good way to use the go-to statement. Okay? Pag sinabi mong continue, it's still the same. It's the same logic. You will continue, okay, to the label where you have specified. Ganun siya. Okay? So, do you have any questions ba, class, with regards to the label? Ito kasi yung bago eh, na when it has been reintroduced again, no? In the Java programming language, but not on a typical straight logic that we have implemented earlier. As what you can see, nag-error siya. So, when used on a deeply nested loop, no, doon na nagsha-shine yung gamit ng labels natin. Okay? So, did you get the idea, class, of using labels? Ayun. Anyway, class, no, moving forward with our lecture. Okay, so ayun, no? That's basically what the loop and the label is for. Kaya siguro dito sa lecture sinama siya dun sa sa mga looping constructs. No, hindi doon sa mismong main feature ng logic execution natin ng mga if else, if else, if else, no? So moving forward, class, with the loops that was presented. The last section that I would like to discuss is basically about arrays. Ito namang arrays, there's no really difference in you know, declaring arrays. I mean, the concept of arrays as with the concept of arrays in C++. Okay? So, module 4 deals with control structures and arrays. Ayan. And our objective is to learn to manage array elements using control structures. Well, alam naman natin, an array is a structure that holds multiple values. Okay? And after creation, an array is a fixed length. Okay? It's a fixed length structure, much like this one. If we will be declaring 10 elements, no? An array length is 10. Ang usable area is from 0 to 9. It's basically the same as what we have learned in C++. And this is how you declare an array. Okay? Ganyan mag-declare ng array. So, pwede, for example, when you are working with arrays, so let me just delete with that, no? And you needed an array of, let's say, for example, an array of integer. Okay? Sabihin natin, class, using a number, pwedeng ganyan. Okay? Which is equal, okay, to new data type and the size. Okay? You can, that's how you declare an array in Java. No? In C++, sasabihin mo ganito eh. Int num5 agad, no? Something like that, 'di ba? Sa Java, sa C++. Hindi eh. Dito it's more of a reference. So int bracket sign num is equal to new int 5. That's how you declare an array. Okay? Or another alternative is this one. Okay? Int num bracket is equal to new int 5. Okay? It's the same. Okay? It's the same. And you can actually assign num0, okay, which is equal to 1. Okay? Num0, num1 is equal to 2, and so on and so forth. Okay? Para makita nyo na okay din yung kanina, kasi baka sabihin nyo, nag-yellow, tapos sir, baka error yon, no? So, gumagana siya. Di ba? So, much like when you transfer these two brackets here sa string args dito sa kaliwa, because it's a declaration of an array. Okay? It doesn't matter. So, pwede nating ibalik dito. Ayan. No? With regards to that. Okay? And did you get the idea, class, of how you declare an array? Ayan. And so, for example, sir, what if you have a declaration like this? You have another number. Tapos, instead of, what do you call this? Nag-new int ako, I initialize it to 0, 1, 2. Ano? So that means, automatic, I have only 3 elements of that particular array. Siya na naglagay ng size para sa atin. Okay? Kaya dapat, kapag enum, no, 4 is equal to 0, is equal to 100, no, dapat hindi uubra to. Because initially, you only declared an array having 3 elements. Okay? That's the rule in C++. But let's check in Java just to make sure. Okay? If we are going to run this program, okay, so sasabihin niya, see, it's an error already. You have an array index out of bounds exception. So when you declare an array, in Java na naka-initialized agad, the number of elements, how you initialize it, is the default size of your array. Okay? So, naintindihan ba, class? Yung ano, yung array natin. Oh. So, yun, no? That's how you used array, and also it applies with strings. It's the same, no? When you apply it with strings. And so, when you declare a multidimensional array, ganun din. Okay, tingnan nyo ha. Okay. Let's say, for example, that I wanted to declare a table of integers having a 2 by 2 array. Ganyan. Okay? So, meaning, if I have a two-dimensional array, okay, I would have it as this, in this notation, to specify the size. Ayan. So, it's a 3 by 3 array. Okay? And so, if that is the case, paano natin siya ina-access each of the elements? Okay? So, it's a row by column, right? So, table, no? I-access natin. Table 0, okay? And its first element is equal to 1. Di ba? That's the way we access that. Ano? Is this valid? Table 3, 0 is equal to 1? I'm sorry. Is that valid, class? Table 3, 0 is equal to 1? Valid ba to? Table 3, 0, if I have a two-dimensional array. Table 3, 0. Okay. Yeah?
Right.
Ano yan? Sorry?
It's a 3 by 3 array, right, sir? So the maximum
Oo.
index would be 2.
Yes,
So,
oo. Mm-mm. So it's an error, ano? Oo.
yes, sir.
Oo. So tama, no? So hanggang 2 lang. Kasi we are referring to the row. So 'di ba yung huling ano, hindi na natin ginagamit. Ayan. So we have here run, no? Makikita nyo, array index out of bounds. Okay? And so, sir, yun naman pala eh. So there's no really need to review about, the arrays in Java. Well, actually, ang totoo niyan, I think there's something new in Java. Ano? When you are working with these arrays. Ito kasi class, you are referring to a fixed 3 by 3 array. Okay? Uh, I forgot the term. Ano? But something like this. Okay? You wanted to specify, this is you wanted to specify that your array would have a three rows, right? And a variant of number of columns. Okay? So, anong ibig sabihin na yun, no? So, yung table 0, which is the first row, okay? Table 0, which is the first row, would contain 2 columns only. Ayun, hindi nag-error. Tama, no? Yung row 1 would contain 3 rows. 3 columns, I'm sorry. Okay? Yung table 2 would contain 4 rows. Did you get what I'm trying to tell you here? No? Na unlike in C++, if you mention you wanted a 3 by 3 array, you should be doing that, no? Pero in Java, you could have an two-dimensional array with a variant size of column. Okay? Let's experiment. Okay? We wanted to place on the first column, since it has only 2 elements, okay, on the last element of table 01, kasi 2 yung last element natin eh. So you have only 2 columns here. So the last indexable value would be, of course, yung yung last is 1. Okay? So we will put a value of 100. Okay? So let me compile the program. Let me run it, no? So, bakit 4? Because of this one. So let me just put a comment here. Okay, and print something here like end of program. Ayan, end of program. Okay? And tingnan natin. Okay? As what you can see, we were able to reach end of program with no problem. So we were able to assign on the last element of the first row, okay, and on the second column, okay, which is the value is 100. Okay? So afterwards, no, when we have that, is it possible, no, for me to assign uh on the third column of the first row the value of 100 also. Pero yung first row, dinefine lang natin as having 2 columns. Okay? So, if I'm going to run this program, okay, see, you have an error already. Okay? Pero is it possible on the third row, okay, on the third row, which is basically 2, no? Ayan, no? 2. This is the third row. And on the last element of the third row, which is 3, okay, because it has 4 columns, is it possible to store, okay, that particular value? So let's run. See, it's possible. So what I am telling here, okay, what am I telling here? In our example, this is what the array looks like, no? Your array table has this specific visual allocation of how the row and column would look like. Okay? So, yung first column natin na table, okay, contains 2 elements. Okay? And this is index 0. Ayan. Okay? The second row of your table, okay, which is index 1, contains 3 columns. Okay? Ayan. Okay? And that is basically, kung titingnan natin, 0. And then you have 1. Okay? And then you have, you have column 2. Ayan, column 2. And then you have column 3. No? Somewhere here. Ayan, column 3. And on your third column of your array, okay, you have 4 elements. Diba? So, did you get it visually? What it looks like? Yung array natin, a two-dimensional array. Diba? Unlike in C++, you know, medyo, you know, pag sinabi mong 3 by 3, 3 by 3 yan. Okay? Pero in Java, you can actually make a multi-dimensional array with different sizes of columns. Okay? So I think that's one of the difference that uh, you you have to consider when you are working with array. And so, if I have a declaration, which is basically I wanted to have a set of number. Okay? Ganyan, no? Which is a two-dimensional array. And I will initialize the first row as 1, 1, 1. Okay? And then I will initialize the second row with 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. No? And I will initialize the third row with 3, 3, 3, 3. No? Then I would have, no, two-dimensional array having the first row having only three elements, having the second row having 5 elements, and the third row having 4 elements. And let's see if we are correct. Because we wanted, no, for our third row, okay, ayan, no, we wanted to print out, okay, system.out. We wanted to print out on the third row, okay, ibahin natin to. The last element of the third row, okay, set num 2, and then 0, 1, 2, 3, that is the last element. We wanted to actually print out its value. Okay? Ayan. So tingnan natin. Run. O see, we were able to print 5 based on our output. Tingnan pa natin yung properties, no? So tingnan natin. Set of num. Okay? 0. Gaano ba kadami yung set of num 0? Okay, length. Ayan. O, tingnan natin, no? And then that's the first row. Gaano kadaming first row? Gaano kadaming second row? Okay? Gaano karami yung third row? Okay? And makikita natin when we run the program that we have, ito yung last element na print natin, which is 5. And then we have 3, 5, 4. The length of the second row is 5 and the length of the third row is 4. So it's variant. Okay? So hindi siya totally square na alam natin when we are talking about a two-dimensional array. Pero pwede mo namang gawing square. It's just that, kulang medyo, sa memory kasi. Baka sayang kasi hindi mo naman magagamit. Kung let's say, for example, totally, ginawa mo siyang 3 by 3 para hindi ka na mahirapan sa logic mo. Okay? You did it this way. Ayan, 3 by 3. Instead of making it to be customized per row of your array. Okay? Did you get the idea, class, of our discussion about arrays? Oo, how about the others naman? Did you learn something new naman kahit paano, no? When you're talking about, arrays here. Yan. So yan yung difference lang, pero the way you operate it, class, it's actually different, no? Kung gagamitin nyo yung, yung bagong features ng arrays in Java, no? You could have multiple sizes of each row. So yun lang, class. And that's what I wanted to discuss for today.